One. Today, I'll be going over the new version of Jebus Outcast 2.69i that MKC is releasing tomorrow. The new version brings very many big changes to the template, and honestly, it feels like a whole new different game playing this version compared to the last one. The biggest change that we have right now is the bunker changes. And right now, there's going to be a one single bunker zone rather than two that we had previously, and everything is in the one bunker version immediately. We have the mines, the gold mine, the town, and spells available immediately after accessing the bunker, with no guard by the way whatsoever. And then you get free control scrolls available to you immediately for Town Portal, Dimension Door, and Fly. Using these three control scrolls, you can start tearing the map apart pretty much immediately. This means that getting knowledge in order to use those spells is very, very mandatory. So mages end up getting like a very big boost in this version, and they are now the preferred way to actually play Jebus Outcast, as far as I know. I've only played a handful of matches, so I can't say for sure this is going to be the meta, but usually intelligence specialists or just LaBeouf or something are really good to go heroes, and also factions are also rebalanced pretty much, because dungeon and conflicts feel like they're going to be top tier. Meanwhile, castle, while still being pretty good, they're no longer top of the list, at least in my opinion. The next big change that we have is the diplomacy nerf. Right now, we are not going to be having 50% joiners all across the board anymore. We're going to be having 25% joiners in the desert rather than the regular 50%. And for biomes and side zones, it's going to be 50% as it was before. So right now, if you want to go diplo gaming, you have to control the side zones. So control for the sides of the map is going to be like much more relevant, and you're going to be doing that a lot more than you used to do. So yeah, having tempo to take those zones to get your diplo going is gonna be very, very mandatory and pretty strong as well. It's gonna be like basically a new way of playing. Though so far I didn't get to test these zones out yet, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna be feeling similar to what they did before. Luck is removed. This is gonna be making it so your skill trees are gonna be like more consistent. You're gonna be rolling diplomacy more often and so on. Then we have anti-magic and quicksand disabled. I feel like the loss of quicksand is actually pretty unfortunate. It's been a good meme whenever you can actually get a win off of that. And having that meme potential gone is, a little bit unfortunate. I'm sad to see it go, but it's okay. Some people are like really upset about it. Like really upset about it. So it being gone is kind of an okay thing. And active magic being removed it changes the dynamic of the final battle like very severely. It makes it so elementals are going to be much more relevant in order for you to not get looped in a berserk, and also, you get like no insurance to get your stack, moving. Unless you go for like big dragons, like black dragons, those are going to be moving most of the time. Unless you have like bad morale. I think that one of the most interesting changes in the entire patch is the removal of orb of vulnerability. What this does is very, very interesting. First of all, Thorgrim, the guy that got countered by orb of vulnerability, might actually suddenly become top tier, and he's going to be competing with the mages. I'm very interested to see how that plays out. Then also, tier 7 dragons, not bone dragons, those still suck, don't worry about it. But black dragons, gold dragons, the creatures with like native immunities, maybe even magic elementals too, are really, really good now, because you will not be able to meteor shower them, berserk them in any sort of way, because orb vulnerability is removed, and that is very interesting. These dragons almost saw no play whatsoever, except on like meme scenarios or desperate scenarios. But right now you might see people legitimately going for them, and that's really cool. So yeah. We also have the boots of speed being removed. So, if the opponent like high rolls boots of speed from his first black tower, you don't immediately lose the game. I mean, cool, I guess. And the rest of them I don't really think matter that much. Actually, Helm of Heavenly Enlightenment is gone, making it so that the combination artifacts are probably going to be the meta go-to equipment for the late game, like real late game. So Ogre Fist, Power the Dragonfather are even more relevant than they were before, which is cool. Combination artifacts in Heroes 3 is like really cool. The adventure to get them, actually assembling them and using them is like a really cool experience when you play Heroes 3. And I'm all for that. And the removal of Teapot is gonna be, pushing the game in that direction. Um, Actually, something that's also notable, we don't have the Chain Lightning Orb anymore either. This means that summons are probably going to be like a little bit more oppressive than they were before. But honestly, they felt pretty weak right now. And because of that, I feel like this removal is kind of okay. It will be a different feel for the game, but hopefully a positive one. Then we also have the minor and treasure artifacts generate with default frequency. So recently MKC made it so you spawn like way less artifacts in the biome, and now you basically brought them back. The reason why this was the case is so we have less boots speed available on the map. I think, okay, I'm assuming here. I don't know what MKC does or why he does it. I can only, speculate. But because there's no more boots speed, you no longer need to nerf the amount of items in the map. You have some new heroes, Zeron, the Devil Specialist for Inferno, Mutary Drake, the Dragon Specialist for Dungeon, Zalari, the Clown, and Caitlyn, the Cleric for Castle. I think that the only notable hero here is going to be Caitlyn. That might take the lead for Castle gameplay, because right now, mages and getting mana as soon as possible is what it's all about. So Caitlyn might just take the spotlight for Castle, but honestly I think Adelaide is gonna be better, in my opinion. Or maybe even Adela. We'll see. Then there's gonna be the level 4 shrines will no longer be ruining your entire EI value. Whenever you had like a box next to a level 4 shrine, there used to be like a ridiculous guard and you would think the box is good, but then it wasn't. And right now that's no longer the case. I've actually taken some boxes next to shrines, and I thought this feels pretty rewarding. They're no longer ruining everything, so yeah. The library only now spawns in the central zone, so you're not going to be having like some guy going to the side zone, and suddenly they get like 5 libraries there. No longer will be the case. They will mostly spawn in the middle desert zone. So that's going to be like a little bit more consistent, and maybe stats will not be blowing up as much as they did up until now. Then we have one Behemoth Crag less for Stronghold. I'm pretty sad to see this change, okay? Stronghold, in my opinion, got hit really hard because they have no good mages to go for whatsoever. So they will probably be one of the only factions in the game that will go for a Might hero rather than a Mage hero. And on top of this, they also have their behemoths stripped away from them. Pretty sad sight to see. It's a bad day to be a Stronghold fan, honestly. Then we have -1 Homestead. Don't think this changes pretty much anything. What +1 goal in Factory. I guess towers becoming too strong, so they need more terrain to block them. And Conflicts also is becoming too strong, so they need more terrain to block them. So yeah, we have Pandora restrictions. You have less swordsmen and crusader boxes spawning in the castle zones, which is sad to see. You always love to see that crusader stack go pew pew, but that will still be the case, but not as much so anymore. There's gonna be less crusaders across the board, and also gorgons are limited as well, so you don't go like super nuts, I guess. Fortress is already like not that good because their best mage Andra is okay, but not that great. So I think that strong Fortress is going to be middle of the pack, and this will ensure that as well even further. Then we have Necropolis and Tower buffs. We have more Vampire Lord boxes. But honestly, Necropolis, I really don't see how you play Necropolis. They're so bad right now. There's like almost no good hero you could go for. They don't really have a good mage whatsoever. Like, Aislinn has 2 dead skills. You don't really use Wisdom that much because you have the spells be in the form of scrolls. So I don't need Wisdom to consume them and use them. And Necromancy is of course useless because you don't really go Skeletons. So having 2 dead skills immediately from the game, from the get-go of the game, while also not having really any snowball potential. I don't know if these Vampire Lord bosses will make them competitive enough. I feel like they will be like at the literal bottom, but still some testing to be done. Maybe they're gonna be okay. We have one less ivory tower, that is good. Tower gets a buff by having less ivory towers. Ivory towers were literal terrain, they were blocking the space for other objects. They made you move around them. They were really, really bad. So this is a good thing, a buff for tower. And also Ancient Lamp, there's another Ancient Lamp in the biome right now, which is, yeah, great. Master Divinities feel really, really good to play when you're playing tower, and having more of them is of course going to be even emphasizing that even further beyond. Then we also have very small changes to make volume generation more consistent. What this actually means in real world terms is that you're going to be getting blocked every single step of the way. I don't know why this is the case, but whenever you start the game, you walk out onto the road, you go towards the bunker, you feel like pretty nice, and you walk into 10,000 shooter stacks. But you're fine because you're on the road, so there's not that many, so despite bleeding a little bit, you're going to be fine. Maybe this is my low sample size talking, but this is what it felt like to me. You're gonna be getting more blocks on the road. So that's how it is. There's also some changes to the rule set that we're gonna be having. And the main rule is gonna be the final fight is no longer forced on 3-2. And rather than that, it's gonna be, the final fight is gonna be at 2-4-2. This makes a lot of sense. With all the control scrolls available, the game pace ended up being like way higher. As in, you're in the desert sooner, you meet your opponent sooner, and with all that being the case, moving the final fight to be sooner makes a lot of sense. I might have wanted to see it being pushed even further sooner, but that's okay, either way. I feel like this is a decent change, and of course, you know, probably MKC is going to be experimenting with that, maybe even drawing out sooner beyond. We will see. There's also some proposed new ways to pick heroes, such as random hero, where you basically get a hero for the faction. You know, you roll the faction pair, but in this case you would be rolling the faction heroes as well by just starting the game real quick and then jumping out. And then you bet for like the pair of a faction and a hero rather than just for the faction. A pretty interesting way. I'll actually probably test it around. I'll test this around for like a little bit with some players and see if that feels good. Then we have old pick, where you basically pick something, and then based on what you pick, you're gonna be having to pay a certain amount of gold. A certain amount for any faction, and then combined with some heroes as well. I will have this document be linked in the description below, so you can take a look at it on how this works more concretely yourself. So yeah, these are most of the changes for the new Jebus Outcast version. This will certainly shake up the meta. Whether these changes end up impacting the game in a very positive way, or even if they're like missed changes, I'm excited for the new version still. Because you have to basically relearn the game, experience the game basically again, and adapt to what's actually good. And that is a lot of fun. So I'm happy with MKC for bringing these changes, and I'm really excited to learn the new version as well. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the lobby. Make sure to check me out on Twitch, I stream basically every single day, and subscribe on YouTube. Thanks for watching.